The first time it happened, I thought I was just tired. It was around AM. I've been awake till long scrolling on my phone, barely paying attention while brushing my teeth in the bathroom mirror. You know those moments where your brain feels delayed? That's what I assumed it was. Because when I blinked, my reflection blinked a fraction of a second earlier. Tiny difference, almost impossible to notice, but I noticed it. I remember freezing immediately with toothpaste still in my mouth. The reflection stared back normally. Same posture, same expression. I actually laughed nervously at myself. Sleep deprivation can mess with perception. Everyone knows that. So I tested it. I raised my hand slowly. The reflection copied perfectly. I tilted my head. Perfect synchronization. Then I blinked again, and once more. The reflection blinked first. A tiny movement ahead of me, like it anticipated what I was about to do. My stomach tightened instantly. I stepped away from the mirror and went straight to bed, convincing myself exhaustion was making me paranoid. But once you notice something like that, your brain keeps replaying it. The next morning I avoided the bathroom mirror completely, not intentionally at first. I just felt uncomfortable looking directly at it. Eventually, I forced myself to check again before work. Everything looked normal. Till I smiled. The reflection smiled too slowly. Barely delayed, but definitely delayed. That scared me more than the blinking. Because now, it wasn't anticipation now, it was reaction. Whatever stood inside the mirror was trying to imitate me manually. I left the apartment immediately after that. At work, I couldn't focus on anything. Every reflective surface started bothering me. Laptop screens, windows, coffee shop glass. I kept catching myself checking whether my reflection moved correctly. Around lunch, I noticed something strange in my office window. I was staring outside when my reflection glanced sideways. I hadn't moved my eyes. The reflected version of me looked toward the hallway behind me for just a second, then returned to normal. Cold panic spread through my chest instantly. I turned around. Nobody there. When I looked back at the window, my reflection matched perfectly again. That night, I covered the bathroom mirror with a towel. I know how insane that sounds, but I didn't want to look at it anymore. At around 3:13 a.m., I woke up needing water. The apartment was dark and silent. As I passed the bathroom, I noticed the towel had fallen off the mirror, just lying on the floor. I stopped walking immediately, because in the darkness, someone stood inside the mirror. Me, not reflected. Me, standing independently, still, watching the hallway. I couldn't breathe for a second. Then the figure moved exactly when I did again. Perfect synchronization, like nothing happened. I backed away slowly without taking my eyes off it. The reflection smiled. I didn't. That was the moment real fear started. The following days became unbearable. The reflection kept making tiny mistakes. Blinking too early, turning too slowly, smiling at the wrong times. Always subtle enough that I questioned myself afterward. But deep down, I knew something was wrong. Then it started happening in photos. One evening, I opened my phone gallery and noticed something disturbing. In a mirror selfie I took months ago. My reflection wasn't looking at the camera. It was looking at me. I dropped the phone immediately. I checked other photos. Same thing. In every reflective surface. Mirrors, windows, dark TV screens. The reflected version of me seemed slightly off. Different posture, different expression, different eye direction, like another person trying very hard to pretend to be me. I stopped sleeping after that. Every mirror in the apartment got covered. Bathroom mirror, bedroom closet mirror, even the microwave door. Didn't matter. I still felt watched constantly. Then one night, I heard movement from the bathroom. Soft tapping against glass. I stood frozen in the hallway listening. Tap, tap, tap. Like fingernails touching the mirror from the other side. Eventually, I forced myself to look. The towel covering the mirror bulged outward slightly. Something pressed gently against it from behind. Then my own voice whispered softly from inside the bathroom. Look at me. I ran out of the apartment immediately. I spent the night driving around because I couldn't stand being near reflective surfaces anymore. Street windows terrified me. Rearview mirrors terrified me. Every reflection felt delayed somehow. Wrong. At sunrise, I finally returned home. The bathroom towel was still hanging normally. And bulgent. No movement. For almost an hour, I convinced myself I'd imagined everything. Then I noticed something on the mirror beneath the towel. A wet handprint, pressed from the inside. I called my sister after that. I needed another person to tell me I was losing my mind. She came over that evening. I didn't explain everything because hearing it out loud sounded ridiculous even to me. Instead, I just asked her to look in the bathroom mirror and tell me if anything felt strange. She stared for several seconds, then frowned slightly. "What's wrong with your reflection?" Every hair on my body stood up. "What do you mean?" She kept staring at the mirror. Then very quietly she said, "It keeps looking at me before I move." I grabbed her arm and pulled her away immediately. She got angry, obviously confused by my reaction. But before leaving, she paused near the apartment door and asked something I still can't stop thinking about. "Why were you smiling in the bathroom?" I wasn't. That night, I smashed the mirror with a hammer. The glass shattered everywhere. For a few seconds, I actually felt relief. Then I looked down. 3 broken pieces reflected me differently. Some smiling, some staring, some not moving at all. One shard near my foot showed something worse. My reflection standing behind me. Not mimicking, just standing there, watching. Then every shard blinked at the same time. Before I did,